Neeves Knives, I'm Jared and I am super excited about this knife and to get to show you guys because I've had it for a little while and I've been wanting to show you guys this for a while. It is such a useful knife. This knife is one of the most precision beasts I've ever handled. I mean, it's one of the most useful knives of the year because of this beautiful WHARNCLIFFE blade that's super narrow and super duper slicey. This thing is a precision beast. You have so much control over this knife. It's incredible. Nitro V steel, G10 handles, but there is 3 different options available. Now the thing is, I'm gonna link it down in the description. This is going to be released in 2 days. However, you can pre-order it right now so that to be sure that you get one. I'm gonna link everything down in the description. It'll be released in 2 days on the 18th, but if you order it right now, you can still order it and make sure that you get one. 3 different options available, micarta, black, and then I think the purple. But turn it around, we have a non-deep carry clip, which is an amazing thing. This is such a good idea to put this clip on there. It is reversible, but the reason why is because if this was a deep carry clip, it would be so uncomfortable in the hand. This thing is entirely way too narrow for a deep carry clip. So in this case, it's nice and comfortable. You have a perfect sharpening choil. They did that extremely well. Then the blade geometry ranges from about 18 thousandths to 14 thousandths at the tip. So, and that's probably a good thing. So it's not so dainty that it's gonna chip or snap, but it is thin enough to where it's a precision king. You can get into tight areas that you wouldn't be able to with other knives. And you can still use it like a regular knife. You can slice with it. It's obviously not a hard use knife, but for regular detailing work and the things that we use knives for 99% of the time, this thing is going to excel. Now, the action is a front flipping deployment, but because it's such a light blade, it's so snappy. You can do a regular front flip with your thumb, and it cranks out there like it's assisted because it's such a light blade. Not the most drop shutty, but you can drop it. It is still on ceramic cage bearings. Then you can do the reach over. It's such a light blade, it's very easy to do that. And you can do the reach over the top with the side of your finger. That works good. It's very, very snappy. Now, the liner lock access is really good. They did give you a little cutout, put a little texturing there, so it's super easy to disengage. Now, the stop pin is a regular stop pin. You can see where it locks up in the open and closed position. I wish it wasn't there, but you know, they do put it in the thickest part, so you know, it's not that big of a deal. Its front flipper does allow you to do the slow roll very easily because it'll effectively lock into place when you bring the flipper tab around to the spine. But the usefulness of this knife, it's just so incredible to me. I've enjoyed this. Kara's enjoyed this. And I knew it. I knew it looking at it. You can see the jimping, how they place the jimping. It's perfect so you can put your finger right there on the spine, you know, to get real precision work done. You know, like if you were going to peel apples or something, it'll work good for that. And Nitro V is a very tough steel. Holds a good edge, easy to sharpen, great stainless, lots of great qualities from Nitro V. I always, I like to compare it to 14C28N. They are very similar in my opinion. As far as, you know, like how good it is and the edge retention, the sharpening, the toughness, things like that. Now, let me go over some negatives, which, let me tell you, there's not many. I only have one, and that is the placement of the stop pin. And that's because it's behind the edge. Now, let me just say they did put it in the best place behind the edge because they put it in the thickest portion of the plunge grind. So, is it ever going to be an issue? Not likely. Not likely. But I don't like that. I prefer internal stop pins. In this case, I think it's going to be just fine. You know, I'm pretty positive it's going to be just fine, but it's always better to just keep it out of the way of your sharpening and stuff like that. Luckily, you know, in order to hurt that, you would have to remove so much steel that this thing there probably wouldn't be much left to it. So not that big of a deal. And we have T8 hardware all the way around, so I can't complain about that. We have a good sharpening tool, good access to the lock bar, fantastic action. The price is right. The deep carry, or the clip is not deep carry, so it's not uncomfortable in the hand for such a narrow knife. Like, there is a lot of great from this knife, so I really have no complaints aside from the one little tiny thing. I mean, it even has thick liners. Look at how thick this liner is. Nice thick liners. The liner's like half the thickness of the blade. Super strong lockup, rock solid. Very narrow or very thin blade and blade geometry, super slicey. And that's what's kind of beautiful about it too, is that it is a narrow blade, yet it's still very slicey. And they were able to bring down some of the strength of the tip down to the tip. So yes, it's not something that you're gonna pry with, you know, it's definitely precision oriented, but it shouldn't break on you without, you know, doing, you know, harder things with it, or, you know, grinding it against concrete or something. You know, as long as you're using it for what its intended purpose is, you probably shouldn't have too many issues with it. As far as this one goes though, for what you're getting here, I think it's like $60. That's not bad. It's not bad considering the prices are going up on so many things. I think this one's not too bad of a price considering how useful it is. I mean, this thing it's so good. It really is. It is so good because, you know, it's one of those knives that, yeah, it's not a hard use knife. Of course, you're not going to be able to use it like your hard use cutter or anything. But where it shines at is the things that those other knives that are going to be really good at slicing and hard use stuff, where those things do not do well, this is going to excel. And yeah, and like I said, I've been using the heck out of it and absolutely loving it. Only two standoffs in the back. We do have a standoff and then an actual pin back there, a barrel spacer. So very, very lightweight, very little hardware, not much to it. So it is basically like a glorified letter opener in a way, but in an EDC, you know, package. But there you guys go. Just a quick look at it. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.